All right. Well, I think we really want to start with one of our founders' speech to basically hear why they were funding this project. So I'll give the floor to Juhan Juselius, who is chair of the Finnish Internet Society, and I'll tell you a little about the project itself after that.
Well, thank you, Raul, and it's really a pleasure to be here. So my name is Juhan Juselius, and I'm chair of Internet Society Finnish chapter. So actually, I'm chair of the Finnish Suomen Internetyhdistys, that's in Finnish, and that's the home for ISOC Finland here in Finland. And I can still remember those days when Raul and Teemu approached us, and they told us that they are going to have kind of this project about a GDPR kind of course. And it was a time when there was a lot of noise, a lot of discussions about GDPR in general. And I must admit that in the very beginning I was a little frustrated. Okay, let's have one more discussion about GDPR. So it was a time when the world was full of GDPR. It was everywhere, from the social media to my workplace. But then, when I was about to leave for this meeting with this gentleman, actually I just chatted with my colleague sitting next to me, and she's a lawyer that was focused on GDPR on those days, and I told her that I will go to this kind of meeting, and when she heard that, actually her frank and instant question was, why? Why do you go there? Do you think that there's not enough about GDPR at the moment, information available, consultancy and such kind of services? And that was a moment when I was kind of in position that I felt that I must defend myself. I have to, give a good argument why I go there. And I was thinking maybe a second or two, and then I realized that, hey, we have been blinded about this GDPR. We have been discussing only this GDPR from the company point of view. How companies can be compliant with GDPR, what kind of changes they must do with their information systems. But it was really all about companies at that time. So nothing for the citizens, consumers, internet users. But GDPR, it was, and it's still, about protecting people, their information. And there was no education about their rights, and actually their rights for them and for us at the same time. So this is the reason why Internet Society Finland decided to support this project, because privacy, it's important for the people, even they are in the internet. Thank you.
Okay, so I'll tell you a little about the project itself and sort of what we've seen along the way. So the project is basically done by Open Knowledge Finland, which is one of the chapters of Open Knowledge International. Has chapters in 40 different countries, and I think it's really it's been a big journey, and I think while it's also been my obvious weakness that I'm not a lawyer making this course on GDPR, I think it can also be seen as a strength, for I've had to understand and try to explain it in a way that I would understand it. And I think we've actually succeeded quite well. So we've made this in we've made two domains, one for digirights.info and another one in Finnish, which was supported especially by the Finnish Foreign Ministry, Eurooppa-tiedotus, where we are standing right now. So the project implements the e-learning course and raises citizen awareness on issues and basically gives citizens tools of how to use their newly found rights in the GDPR. And yeah, there's been like a 1-year timeline. We started off with making like having content workshops, but actually it took us a lot longer than we anticipated to see what exactly do we want to include in this course, because GDPR has 99 articles and there's a lot of material in there that would not actually be that useful for the average citizen. So it took us actually 3 or 4 months to just pick up the right pieces that we want to use for this course. And our biggest event so far dedicated to this was really the launch date or the workshop that was had. It was on day after the GDPR came into full effect, and we actually got like pretty good experiences there, like and saw this project as even more necessary than before. And since we've also been to the MyData conference, which is one of the reasons I think Open Knowledge Finland really wanted to do this project, because we wanted to show that MyData, which is some 5 years old concept in the Nordic countries, especially here in Finland, it was developed here, and the MyData concept is really compliant with the GDPR. In fact, it's taken it sort of one step forward from there. And at the end, we did plan, because we were a little late in the schedule in the beginning, we've now moved these online lectures to a later point, which the first one is next Tuesday on the 22nd. And that's at 16 UTC. And we'll have one every Tuesday from there for 4 weeks. This is really the MyData logo here. It's basically trying to show us that our personal data is everywhere. It's in all of these sectors of the society. And I think even like through this project, I've really realized like how much of data there is of all of us, especially me, because I'm really quite a passionate user of the internet. Now, these are basically the rights that we really wanted to go through. I think they're really all quite necessary for the citizens to know and to know how to use those rights. We've explained all of them in our nutshell module, which basically tries to explain the right and how to use it in a simple way. So you have the right to obtain information and processing of your personal data. That can, for example, include of who else has that data, who did they get that data from, or who they've been selling it to, for example. Then there's the right to access your data. You have the right to fully access all data that is about you. There's the right to rectify information, data that is made of you. There is like the data needs to be accurate, and the organization that has your data needs to correct it if you feel that it's inaccurate. For example, changing your address or phone number, even gender. There's the erasure of your data, and the right to be forgotten, which I think is one of it's been one of the key rights here. I think, for example, we try to make an example of how can you use the right to erasure to get rid of telemarketers. And I think most of us can appreciate that. You can also restrict processing of your data. You can select different parts that you can restrict the processing of. There's the right to data portability, which means that they must supply you with the information in a readable format, and they are even they can also, you can authorize them to move the data they have to another service. They can also object to the processing of your data, so they have to stop using it completely. And there's also the right not to be subject to a decision based solely on automated processing. Like, for example, insurance companies do this a lot. Now, one of the key things is really to make a subject access request. It's essentially a data request that you make to an organization, and that through that you are actually able to use all your other rights. You must be able to contact the company and give them this subject access request. And they are really forced to reply or answer you, hopefully with everything that you've asked for as well. Now, really common problem, at least last May when the GDPR came into effect, was that it's fairly difficult to find the contact details of the data protection officers. And in some cases they couldn't be found. Like for Pinterest, on the 26th of May, we tested it, went to their site, and I have to say there's going to be a few slides of that example. I'm going to show you how bad it was, but I checked it today, and they have actually improved a lot. Now you can actually find pretty much everything there, apart from their physical address, which I would like to see as well. There's also like different procedures for identifying data subjects. For example, Facebook and Google and Finnair, they have this ready-made portal that you can just sort of select your data, what you want to do, different actions, and you can do it that way too electronically. But there are also sort of less developed ways to do that, and that could be just sending secure emails, and even it can be as bad as they're asking you to send a picture of your passport over a clear text email. That still happens. And yeah, like I said, a lot of companies didn't seem to be GDPR compliant. I haven't actually had time to go through all the same companies today, but I would assume that at least some of them have improved, like Pinterest. Right, so here's an example of how difficult it can be to find the details where to send your data request. And if you can't send that data request, you can't really exercise any of the rights in the GDPR. So this is what Pinterest webpage looks like. This is their privacy policy page. It was just basically 2 links that you can contact them through. Once you click that, it takes you to this page. Already they're asking that you still need help. And so there's this little drop box where you can select what exactly you need help with. Okay, so they have only really 5 things that you can use their help with, and none of this doesn't seem to be anything to do with privacy or data protection. But okay, I'll take the vaguest one, which is reporting something. After that, you get this kind of selection. And the only thing that's even remote, well, privacy is bundled with harassment. That's really not the way it should be by law. So then they're asking this, and even here, pretty much everything is about trying to correct somebody trying to harass you. Still really nothing about privacy. Luckily they had this button, I still need help, here. Yeah, thanks. And after that, when you push that, you can actually make like a free form request there. Now, we made that request then, and as far as I know, we didn't get an answer to it. So that's really not how it's supposed to be. It is a lot better today, and I think it's been pressure from the citizens, maybe the data protection authorities as well, but they've gone and changed it. But the point is, one does not simply make a data request. So we've made this course for you, and it's basically the idea is to have these online sessions every Tuesday from 6 to 6:30, and in that time, anybody who is enrolled on the course can ask us for help with anything that's in the course or just using it. And here's our we've started using a mobile platform that is also going to be well, I mean, we will also have a desktop version of it, but at the moment it's only on mobile. Well, at least you have to start. You have to get into the course by using your mobile first. So you basically install the LifeLearn application on Android or iPhone. You open the application. You can skip the SMS authorization and continue as an anonymous user. After the app has started, you see a generic welcome content. And on the right side, you can choose to create an account. And you can either choose, for example, Google to do so, which will then just take your information from Google and create that account. Or you can make a completely new LifeLearn account, which will basically work over email. And then once you've done these first 5 steps, you're then able to click on an invitation link, and you're able to access it. And after that, you are able to do this course on the desktop version as well. But we've included this information on our webpage, which is the digirights.info, and basically there you have the same instructions as well as the welcome link, so you are ready to start the course and know your rights about data protection. And this is a picture of some of the jolly people that were there on the day after the GDPR was launched. There's also Paul Olivier De Hey, Reggie Rusin, who were like external lecturers. Especially Paul Olivier De Hey is quite renowned in the data protection circles, and he's like sued Facebook and Tinder and Uber for all kinds of violations of data privacy. But thank you, that's all.
Any questions?
Oh, yes. Any questions?
Yeah, so what's the estimated effort of taking the course? How much of a time commitment is it to take it?
Good question. I would say on average it's about an hour or a little less per module, and there are 7 modules. And it's one of the important part is that you actually make a subject access request, and for that you might want to take a break in the course because you have to wait for the company response to sort of continue with the information that you received. So basically, if you start the course and sort of don't do it too intensely, I would say it will take you about 5 to 6 weeks to complete the whole thing. But you can basically, if you don't make the subject access request and instead just find out how it's done and for example, save the templates for yourself so you can do the later actions or some of the actions later, I would say it takes about 6 to 7 hours to read through the whole material and learn what GDPR is all about. Yep.
Is it only like mobile or virtual presence, or can we talk physically participation on Tuesdays?
Yes, another good question. Yes, so we'll basically have these webinars every Tuesday, and people can physically come there if they happen to be in Helsinki. That's in Marja, which is this sort of startup factory where Open Knowledge Finland resides. And on top of that, we'll broadcast that session so that anybody of the online learners who are elsewhere, we've had people from Africa, for example, they can just join the webcast, and we can answer their questions through there, through chat as well.
Thank you.
Yes? One more?
Yeah, I was just curious to know that is there any differences between requesting from authorities and from service providers? Is there anything that one should maybe consider before doing so?
Okay.
You might want to repeat the question.
Right. So basically, the question was, do we have? Is there a difference of requesting for information from a company or a government, for example? And I would say that there's not too much difference. We actually started in the beginning. We were talking about company, but we changed that into organization, which also includes governments. And I would think that they both should be just as law-abiding. So they really need to give you the information that you ask for, whether they're a government or a company. No further questions?
Is the schedule of webinars, is it posted online on the website?
Right. Yeah,
I guess it will be there.
It will be there. It will be there before the first webinar. I will do it this weekend latest.
Is it foreseen to have some feedback and discussion from the participants?
Yes, I mean that is really the place to ask questions, and hopefully we can answer them right there. If we can't, we'll provide the answers in the next session. Okay. I think we can. If you haven't had any snacks or drinks, do that. Maybe continue in the discussion of this course, and maybe if any of you needs instructions of how to get on, I can also help with that. It's really the part of the speeches.